Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Logan and today we're going to be talking about the Magpie's Lenormand by Rosen. This is a fantastic, striking Lenormand deck. It is a tad on the large side. It is the size of a standard tarot card. So doing things like a Grand Tableau could be a little bit more complicated with it. I myself prefer a smaller card, but the card stock is a lovely quality and the imagery is so beautiful that I don't care. Like, it is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And some of the interpretations for the cards and the artwork is just stunning and clever. So I'm excited to talk to you about this one. This first edition here from 2020 was in a tuck box, and since the artist has re-released this along with the Owls Lenormand, which I think is going to be shipping soon on a Kickstarter from this year, 2022. And that deck has a rigid two-piece box, I believe, both the new Magpie version and the new Owl version. So the cards are fantastic. They're out of order because I've been using them. Also, as you see here, we have the cat. This is not to replace the dog. There is still a dog card. In the booklet, the artist, or possibly the author, one of the two, talks about why this doesn't replace the dog card, if I'm not mistaken. However, for my own personal practice, I tend to take the dog card out when I'm doing readings, and I just use the cat card because I have two cats, and there are a lot of Lenormand decks with dogs, including the ones I made myself. So having a cat is a nice alternative to have. So we have the cat, and these are all done in watercolor, I believe. Stunning artwork. Look at that, the bouquet. All the cards also have these like blues, purpley blues, and then goldish tones through them. It's absolutely stunning. The albatross. This is this deck's version of the cross card, which I appreciate as someone who has experienced a lot of religious-based trauma. It's really nice to have a card that is not a religious symbol. The fish. Stunning. Look how stunning. The mice. And the new version of this deck, the Owls Lenormand, it's very similar artwork, but each image has changed a little bit, which I really appreciate. So it's not just like a color palette swapped thing, which I'm fine with, but I think it's even more exciting this way. So the moth in the new deck is the butterfly, I believe. Now in this deck, instead of the typical man-woman significators, we have caterpillar, chrysalis, and, well, caterpillar, cocoon, and the moth in this deck. And so I would imagine the other one would be caterpillar, chrysalis, butterfly, which I quite enjoy because that can speak more to the phase of your life that you're going through at the moment, or that your character is going through, as opposed to just strictly basing it off of sex or gender. The coffin, we have a cicada husk. I never remember if it's cicada or cicada, but I think it's cicada. We have a grumbling cat in the background somewhere. I don't know if you heard that. One of my cats is very angsty today. I don't know what is bothering her. For the scythe, we have this really lovely non-traditional scythe where the swiftness, the action, and the cutting edge is coming from the owl's talons. Gorgeous. Gorgeous and innovative. The fox. I love foxes. I love the fox card. I personally enjoy a heavier differentiation between the snake card and the fox card, because I feel like a lot of people sum both of them up to like betrayal, deceit, treachery, and it's like, you have two different cards, why do they have the same meaning? Anyway, so the fox being pictured here jumping up into the air using its natural strategies to find prey, like in snow and whatnot, I just think is brilliant, because the fox to me really is about being innovative when it comes to like putting bread on the table. So ingenuity, employment, that kind of thing. So I love this jumping fox for the fox card. The anchor, we do have an anchor here. It is very dark, but we have a beautifully brilliant octopus next to it, or squid, but I think octopus. Yeah, it's an octopus. Also, hopefully we're not getting too bad of a glare. from the overhead light here. The book, we have 2 ravens sitting on top of it, or crows. I'm really bad at bird identification with those 2. If you heard that, that's my crazy neighbor who likes to make really loud noises. I'm pretty sure she's a combination of, I think her father was a peacock and her mother was a foghorn. The house, we have a gigantic hive, which I think is just such like a natural choice for a deck that deals so much in nature. I mean, I think it's a really good choice. For Crossroad, we have an ant navigating an ant mound, which I think is really brilliant. The clover, and again, just the color palette for this one is stunning. The companion deck that should be available to purchase from the artist by the time this video comes out, it doesn't have the deep blues and golds and such. That one is whites and creams and like strawberry pinks and very soft golds. Just stunning. So that's the sun. Also stunning. Look at that. Look at that gilding. The new versions, I don't know if it's shiny edging. It might be matte on the new versions. I want to say the Owl Lenormand particularly, you have the whitish pinkish with gold tones on the front and back, and then I want to say the sides are either a pale matte pink or a pale matte gold. I can't recall which. The letter. The ship is a little leaf traveling down a stream, which I adore. It's not the first time I've seen that. Andy Swartz from Skull Garden, his Seeker's Lenormand also has a little leaf ship ferrying a bug over water, I believe, and I loved it then, and I love it now. All right, so here's our dog card. I don't think that's a Saluki. The ears look too short. I'm not sure what this breed is. It might say in the guidebook, but very beautiful. Here's our snake card. I just love their ability with watercolor to capture light so well. Like, you really have a lot of depth as well as a lot of moments of brilliance. Just brilliant light shining through like along the edges of the snake's body here. Love that contrast. The key, almost like it's inside of a tree trunk or something. The tower. I enjoy this because I know a lot of people associate the tower with institutions and things, and that's fine. You know, do whatever works for you. I personally look at the tower as gaining like a higher perspective and also isolation. So having a spider sitting high atop a web, surveying everything below it, it really gels with the way that I interpret the tower card. Mountain. The heart. Making the heart a heart, like H-A-R-T, I think was very clever. I don't know if you can hear my cats freaking out in the other room now. They've got the midday zoomies, I think, and so I just hear little cat claws on wood making a bunch of little scritchy noises. The tree, the clouds. I mean, look at this illumination. The shadow, the light breaking through some of the clouds. It's just their work with light is stunning. The pink version of this deck, the Owls Lenormand, is just as stunning, and I can't wait for mine to come in. The ring, we have a magpie flying off with a shiny, because of course a magpie going to magpie. The birds, I'm not certain what type of birds these are, but they're very cute. The chrysalid, there we go. Stunning, absolutely stunning. So that's one of our other significators. And we'll eventually get to the caterpillar. I don't think we've crossed it yet. The bear, beautiful polar bear. You also notice a lot of the cards have a circle in the art in the background at some point. So that's a kind of fun little visual theme that runs through some of them as well. The rider, I think this horse running away or galloping away is gorgeous. A lot of motion, a lot of momentum, and then I love that the horseshoes are quite illuminated. The moon, again, beautiful. We get the water droplet effect. The lily, and then see we have another ring or circle in the background. The caterpillar, isn't that beautiful? On, what is this? Is that dandelion or milk thistle? Probably dandelion, right? The yellowy flowers. Who knows? I clearly don't. The stars just have the beautiful big and little dipper. The garden. This is so beautiful. All of this in the foreground, and then we get more to the background, and we actually actually have the bench and this almost like peaceful aura bubble going on where the ring is, you know, like, this is prime real estate right here. This is where you want to be. I love that. And the whip. This is possibly my favorite card from this deck, not because I think it's the most beautiful, but I think because in a nature-themed Lenormand deck, using lightning as the whip, it's fucking genius. It's fucking genius. I mean, look, I think lightning, if we're talking thematically, probably has more in common with the scythe, but I mean, come on, that's brilliant, no? Also, we have the lovely card back, the Magpie design. It's just a truly lovely, beautiful deck. I've gotten some really beautiful readings using it. I thought we could look at the guidebook for just a minute here. So let's look at the crossroad with the ant, or at least what I think is an ant. 2 paths, all path, 1 path are the keywords or key phrases, I suppose, that they've given us. The crossroad comes at the end of the clear path. There is no choice but choice. There is no obvious decision. It is time for deliberation. Is this a moment of relief or anxiety? A decision has to be made regardless. There is no alternative. I really appreciate that they do give us the option of like, is it a relief or an anxiety? Because I feel like the crossroad can sometimes feel kind of ominous with its like finality of like one door opening and another one closing. Like you can't turn back and then choose the other choice and change your mind. And I think that can be a little daunting sometimes. So I appreciate when relief is brought into the picture. For the mice, we have a scattering of crumbs, a wilting pantry, a faint idea of noise. I think those are all really nice key phrases for the mice card, which, you know, often is associated with worry and eating away, a sense of loss, that sort of thing. It says the mice are themselves not the trouble, but a symptom. They are the distant sound of a dripping pipe, the unopened letter collecting dust, the blinking battery indicator. Something has to be done before things reach a point of no return. These signals are quiet and easily ignored. Act now. That is a fantastic write-up for the mice, in my opinion. I'm suddenly regretting not actually reading this little booklet more. I tend to just pick up a deck of cards whenever I get a new deck and just totally ignore the booklet because I'm gonna do what I want to do. But this one might be worth looking at just because it's interesting seeing how the artist interpreted the cards, and also how the author has, I guess, put those thoughts to word. I'm still not quite sure on how much of the thoughts are the artists and how much are the authors, but regardless, Magpie's Lenormand, fantastic, beautiful deck. Totally recommend it. If I remember correctly, it's actually quite affordable. I believe the artist is French, but they typically keep a number of decks with their fulfillment center in the US. So shipping wasn't crazy whenever I ordered this deck, or when it shipped from Kickstarter, and then when I got one for my mom later as a gift, and it shipped from the US. Super cheap, super great. So they serve at least two major areas. So anyway, that's the Magpie's Lenormand. Thank you so much for hanging out with me while we flip through this deck. I hope you enjoy it. If you want to get your own copy, I'm going to list the artist's relevant links and such in the description below. I'm not sure if this is sold out at the moment or if it's back in stock. Either way, all of the inventory from their new Kickstarter should be going out right now. I know some people have already gotten the new Owl deck and probably this deck too, so I'm pretty sure they're going to have this back in stock by now. As I said, it might not be with the tuck box, it might be with the hardcover box, but either way, get on it. It's a beautiful deck, beautiful readings. Again, not your typical small deck Lenormand size, but it's just, the quality is so nice, the imagery is so lovely. I've really enjoyed using it, and if I'm going to do a grand double, I just tend to use a different deck. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a beautiful rest of your day.